Good morning, everyone, and we are going to call our redevelopment agency meeting of January 23rd, 2013 to order. And this redevelopment agency meeting is properly noticed and posted in compliance with the open meeting law. These proceedings are being video recorded as well as presented live, KCLV Cable Channel 2, and are closed captioned for our hearing impaired viewers. Please note some customers of Cox Communication who do not have a cable box may view this meeting on digital channel 89.5. The redevelopment agency, as well as other KCLV programming, may be viewed on the city's website, www.kclv.tv. The proceedings will be rebroadcast on KCLV Channel 2 website, Cable Channel 2, and the web the Wednesday of the meeting at 8 p.m., also Friday at 4 a.m., Saturday at 7 p.m., Sunday at 7 a.m., and the following Monday at 1 p.m. This building is protected by state-of-the-art fire detection and suppression sprinkler system. If alarms should activate during today's meeting, please evacuate using the exits at the back of the chambers out to the mezzanine. Proceed out the double doors to the terrace, down the back staircase. For anyone who has difficulty with stairs, please check with the marshal or fire official for assistance. Once outside, assemble on the northeast corner across the street from City Hall at Lewis and First. Employees wearing safety vests or city marshals will inform you when it's safe to re-enter the building. For public comment related to items on the agenda, citizen participation public hearing items, we have available a speaker card which you may complete and submit to the city clerk. Cards are available online in the clerk's office or at the rear of the chambers. If you do not submit a card, it does not prevent you from speaking under the public comment, citizen participation, or specified public hearing items. If there's anyone present today who has need for hearing impaired equipment, please see the city clerk's staff. If you've parked in the parking garage across the street and did not receive a validation ticket as you entered chambers, please exit to your right and then see security personnel at the entrance. We will now move on to item number 3. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters on the agenda for action. The amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. All comments made will be cross-referenced to those specific items. If anyone submitted a speaker card or who wishes to speak under this portion of the agenda, please come to the podium, state your name for the record. We will set the time at 1 minute. Thank you very much. We will move on to item number 4. For possible action to approve the final minutes by reference of the regular redevelopment agency meeting of January 9, 2013, may I have a motion, Mayor Pro Tem, to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Thank you. There's a motion. And please vote. And please post. Thank you. Motion carries. Item 5, discussion for possible action regarding the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency Component Unit Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, CAFR, for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2012. Ms. Falder. No, you don't look like Ms. Falder. Good morning.
Good morning, Honorable Mayor and Council. For the record, I'm Phil Steckinger. I'm the Strategic and Analysis Reporting Manager in the Finance Department. Also with me today, I have Tamara Miramontes, who served as the Engagement Audit Partner with Kafori Armstrong. I have a brief presentation as far as the CAFR for the year ended 6/30/2012, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. And also, I have Ms. Falder to answer any questions you might have after that. The CAFR is an annual requirement under Chapter 354 of the NRS, and it was conducted by Kafori Armstrong for the period, the year that was ended 6/30/2012. The audit is conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards as well as government auditing standards. Kafori Armstrong issued an unqualified opinion, which means that they found no instances of material weaknesses or reporting conditions. Some of the highlights that we have and that we wanted to go over, and one of the things is what is happening with tax increment revenue. This slide depicts what has happened over the last 3 years. And if you look at the high water mark, which was 2010, we had almost $29 million in tax increment revenue. Where we are right now is about $13.2 million for the year that was ended. So in a period of just over a 2 to 3 year period, we're basically well less than half of where we were in 2010. As far as the RDA fund balances, it's pretty similar to what they were in the previous fiscal year. There's a decline of $400,000. And then as far as the net position has actually improved slightly as compared to where it was the previous year. Just for discussion, net position is basically your assets minus your liabilities, and it's what is left. That concludes the presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And also, we have required communications, and also Ms. Miramontes is available to answer any questions you might have also.
Good morning. Would you care to introduce yourself for our record, please?
Yes, I will. Good morning. I am Tamara Miramontes, the engagement partner with Kafori Armstrong & Company.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Thank you, Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Tamara. Thank you very much. How long has Kafori been on the account of the RDA, by the way?
This was our fourth year.
Fourth year.
Performing
Okay,
the audit,
good.
yes.
Yeah, it seems to be well prepared from my perspective, so, and an unqualified opinion is the best you can get. You don't get out there and shake a leg and say it's just a wonderful thing. The best news an accountant can deliver to an agency is that you've done it right.
Yes, it is a clean opinion. And on the government auditing standards side, there were no material noncompliance issues, no significant deficiencies, and no material weaknesses in internal control. So it actually is a very good report.
Does the audit team have any suggestions on things that maybe not in the scope of the audit, but perhaps in the course of doing the business, you find there may be things that could be done differently, not to suggest any kind of material or any kind of insufficiency at all, just any thoughts from your management perspective, management consulting perspective?
We do have some ideas and thoughts. I think we have not prepared anything for management at this time, but I think that there's some streamlining, some procedures that definitely can be done. I know there were some significant delays in the ability to get the records and prepare the financial statements, and so I think maybe through some technology use or different avenues, things could be streamlined.
They're a little short-handed on staff. Sometimes it's harder providing records. I suspect that's the reason for that.
Yes.
Well, you know, I think you should feel free to communicate with counsel on these things. It's important that we maintain also, you know, some sort of a line to our auditors in order that we have, you know, that kind of chain where we know you're thinking.
Okay.
But you've done a good job, and I think our staff has done a fine job. I know what they do, and I know that they've got eyes on them. And we have our own internal auditor, but we don't do too much auditing in there.
And we'd love to, I know you have an audit committee that usually only communicates with the internal audit department, but if they would like to communicate with the external auditors.
Anytime you have some thoughts on
Okay.
ways we can improve, CPAs always have an extraordinary perspective that they don't usually get asked because their green eye shade's in the way. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Anyone else comments, questions? I'd entertain a motion then to accept the report, please.
Motion to accept the report.
If I may also, one of the things, coming back to Councilman Coffin's comment too, as part of the audit, I'd like to submit into the record, one of the things that Kafori always does at the end of any audit is that there's an audit required communication that is required to be submitted into the record, and it has, you know, the basis of what they went through, and also, as Tamara had described, you know, different things if there are any that can be improved on too. So I'd like to submit that into the record also.
Please, thank you very much, and thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Seconder, and thank you, Ms. Miramontes. There
Thank
was a motion, and please vote. And please post.
Madam Mayor,
And that motion carries. Yes, Councilwoman.
on that material that was entered into the record, could we have a copy of that? I would just like a copy of it because she said that he said that she had recommendations on that.
We'll make sure we make copies for all the council.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
We'll move on now to item number 6, RA 52013, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by Quick Start Program QSP agreement between City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and FAEC Holdings, Warula LLC owner, and Phantom Entertainment LLC tenant and QSP participant, located at 450 Fremont Street, number 370, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, authorizing the execution of QSP agreement by the RDA, Redevelopment Area Ward 5, Councilman Barlow. This item is related to Council Item 40, R62013. Good morning, Mr. Arndt.
Good morning, Mayor, members of council. For the record, Bill Arndt, Director, Economic and Urban Development. This item before you today is part of our Quick Start program, where we help businesses work on the interior of an establishment to bring it up to code, and in some instances retrofit the space to make it available for business. This is for the property at Neonopolis, 450 Fremont Street, Suite 370. You may know it as the former theaters there. And Phantom Entertainment LLC, doing business as Crave, is renovating the space, 80,000 square feet for a flagship nightclub. They're investing approximately $1.5 million into the project and anticipate 125 full-time equivalent jobs to be created, 25 full-time and 200 part-time jobs. There are a number of code compliance issues, deferred maintenance, fire safety upgrades, city water sewer connection fees, electrical and plumbing upgrades. Specifically, the budget, which is in the agreement and part of your backup on attachment 3, the safety fire system upgrades are going to be costing $58,000. General tenant improvements, FF&E, are costing $393,000, and then exterior and related interior build-out of $1,049,000. Specifically, with the permitting costs, the city water fees are estimated at $69,791, and because of that, they do qualify for a Quick Start grant of $50,000. With the private investment, it's leveraging the city's dollars at a ratio of about 30 to 1. Staff does recommend approval. With us today, representing the owner, should be a familiar face to you, Jim DeFiore, and he can go over any questions about the tenant build-out, schedule, and what needs to happen in order to get the business running and open for business.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mayor and members of the agency, Jim DeFiore, 8550 West Charleston Boulevard, representing the applicant today. As Mr. Arndt eloquently provided the information, we believe this application does meet the criteria for consideration of approval of this Quick Start program. I just wanted to add that in addition to all of the items that Mr. Arndt provided, we do anticipate an opening probably late March, maybe first part of April. Additionally, we're hoping to attract around 10,000 customers per week. The success of Crave in Clark County was pretty much of a highlight of the operation that lasted for several years, and the movement to downtown is to encourage growth in the downtown area, as well as bring the customers from that Clark County base down to the downtown area. Everyone does know that this is going to be replacing the Mann theaters that have been vacant for about 4 years, and we're very excited about the project, the completion, and the opening. I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Approximately how many construction jobs are going to be ongoing or currently going?
I don't have a good answer to that. I'm going to say 30 to 50 at this point.
And the contractors, subs are all local, I would gather?
Yes, they are.
Good, thank you. Before I turn it over to council for questions, could you just, for the viewing public, describe what the Quick Start briefly is, the Quick Start program, and how one applies through your department, and if they're limited or not in the amount?
Certainly, thank you, Mayor. We realized that we had an issue with some of our downtown properties, our older properties. We have some of the older properties in the entire valley, and we have a lot of business interest, particularly small business interest, for going into older spaces. And so we have, for example, a restaurant may want to go into a space that was previously occupied by an auto body shop or something that wasn't suited to a restaurant. So in those cases where the business, the tenant, has to incur an incredible amount of expense to retrofit the interior of a building. Things like adding restrooms, sprinkler systems, changing ingress and egress, how you get in and out of the building, certainly upgrading the utilities. Those costs come at a high expense, so we wanted to try to make it easier for business. So we're doing two things. One is we're offering an interdisciplinary team from the city at no expense if you're enrolled in the program, where we'll have a team come out and do a site inspection and basically give the business an informal punch list on what needs to be done and how our various code review departments can work with the business to make it easier and less expensive. The second thing is we wanted to help them out financially. So for every $4 that the business spends on the inside, we will contribute a matching grant, so a 1-to-4 match from the city up to a maximum of $50,000. It's not a huge amount of money, but a little bit can go a long way when you're trying to wrestle with some of these issues. It's been very widely adopted by the business community. We have a lot of applications pending, and really the one limit is the annual funding. We've appropriated $500,000 for each redevelopment project area in the current budget year. We're kind of evaluating it as we go to see if that's the right funding level, given where we're spending our other resources.
Thank you very much. Anybody on council? Good morning. Any questions, comments? Thank you very much. I would entertain a motion, Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to move to follow staff's recommendation for approval, subject to all conditions.
Motion, please vote. And please post. That motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. And now we'll move on to item number 7, RA 6-2013, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program, CVIP, agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and ProView, LLC, owner, located at 509 South 7th Street, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. This is in Redevelopment Area Ward 3, Councilman Coffin. And note, please, this item is related to Council Item 41, R72013. Mr. Art.
Thank you, Mayor. This item is part of our visual improvement program. So where the previous item was devoting funds to improve the interior of a building, this is designed to improve the exterior. With us today is Cameron Foulad, who is the owner of the property. The property is located in the Las Vegas Academy District on 7th between Clark and Bonneville. It is a professional residence that's eligible for business use, and so the owner would like to do a full remodel of the interior and exterior to allow a small business to lease the space. The owner plans to invest over $120,000 into the property as follows. Repair exterior stucco, install decorative plaster, painting and new railings for $22,836. Exterior stonework and concrete replacement, $25,233. A new garage door for $3,958. Repair exterior doors and install shutters, $15,235. And then finally, replace the exterior light fixtures, mailbox, signage, and install a security camera, $13,112. And because of those expenses, they are eligible for the maximum, for a $40,000 VIP grant, $40,187. The property is, the owner has a letter of interest from a magazine publisher to lease the space. So with that, staff recommends approval. Would like to introduce again Mr. Kamran Foulad with ProView. You may remember him. He was here before us on another property recently. Mr. Foulad?
Good morning,
Good morning.
Mayor and Councilman. My name is Kamran Foulad. I'm the manager of ProView LLC. The property has been purchased and been vacant for a while. It's an excellent location. It's right behind the courthouse. Already we have LOI from the magazine, Valley Magazine, that interested to move in under one condition: if it gets renovated. To the picture that, the rendering that it shows stonework such as pavers, new sign, and other renovations that was mentioned.
Beautiful. Mr. Arndt, if this house qualified historically, which I'm sure it's a newer house, would they also be eligible for that?
There are some programs that we have at the state level and at the federal level. Federally, for instance, there's historic tax credits. That's an interesting question. I hadn't thought of that looking at this property, but we can certainly talk to Mr. Foulad and talk to our folks in city planning to see if it is on the historic register or eligible to be so.
And again, to make aware the viewing public of the different opportunities that are here to get involved in the redevelopment area. So that's another opportunity for funding or an advantage. Any comments, questions? Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think as a comment on historical credits, you'd have to be kind of taking one or the other. You couldn't change the exterior very much at all if you were going to apply for historical credits. So you really have to flip a coin, I guess, and figure out which way works best for you. But all of these houses downtown, virtually all of them have been altered in one way or another, so in many cases they wouldn't even be eligible unless someone was to go to the expense of restoring, and that's a lot of money.
Currently is not, we checked, is not historically registered as a historic building.
Thank you. I mean, my question was more just to let the public know there are other opportunities, and absolutely, I think it's adorable. I'd like to move in. Looks cute.
It's a helpful question because some people are overlooking those things, but there's a lot of red tape to go to, too. Well, anyway, you can't get VIP and historical. I think it would be probably a fundamental problem, wouldn't it, Bill? I mean, VIP means you're changing something.
Right. Councilman, I think you're correct that you're changing the exterior, and you're correct in pointing out that if you do take advantage of the historic programs, it does dictate what you do with the exterior. Our best case and our shining example is really the historic post office where, down to the nail, we made sure that everything was done to historic standards.
At horrendous expense, too, I must say. Thank you very much. I move for approval of item 7, Your Honor.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. Looks beautiful.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
Motion carries. Thank you very much. We'll move on to item 8, RA 72013, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Visual Improvement Program CVIP agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, and ProView LLC, owner, located at 1111 South Casino Center Boulevard, to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, and authorizing the execution of the CVIP agreement by the RDA. Redevelopment Area Ward 3, Councilman Coffin, and please note this item is related to Council Item 42R82013. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you, Mayor. This item, again, is part of our visual improvement program where we devote funds to the exterior of a building. You certainly can see the need for the program with this property. It's an older property in need of improvement. Currently, there are 4 buildings on this property with a mix of residential and commercial uses. The residential units are 2 single-story buildings on the southern portion of the property, and then you see the 2-story buildings there. This VIP is for the 2 2-story buildings on the northern portion of the property. Property itself is on Casino Center between Charleston and California. The owner intends to invest $450,000 to improve both properties. Specifically for this property itself, they're looking to invest $121,000 in the exterior to include repairing exterior stucco, decorative precast paint, exterior stair railing repair, doors, stonework, pavers, canopy, landscaping, and a planter, exterior lighting, signage, and mailboxes, security gates, and camera. And you can see some of the before photos, and you can see here with an after rendering. Because of their investment of that amount, they are eligible for a visual improvement program grant of the maximum of $50,000. Staff does recommend approval, and in doing so, we anticipate that the project will create approximately 20 to 30 jobs. Mr. Fulot has interest from both startup technology firms as well as art-related businesses for this property. So with that, I'll turn it over to Mr. Fulon.
Yes, this building, when we purchased it, was owned by out-of-state owner, was neglected. It was full of homeless, and part of it, or majority of the building, was boarded up. Currently, we renovated the other 2 buildings, which is residential. We have spent over $500,000 to renovating those 2. Currently, it's about 80% occupied. It was just completed back in December. Unfortunately, we don't have the picture available here because it's not part of this grant. Now, this one is commercial and is good for offices and also restaurants. Portion of the building going to be changed to sushi bar and a small bar, which it's excellent for the neighborhood. There is no sushi bar in the area. And also, it would be catering to a young artists. Or those offices going to be converted to small offices, which is about 300 square feet to 550 square feet. The rent going to be varies between 400 to 550, which is very affordable.
Second floor, no residents. There's no residence whatsoever.
Your
It's
Honor.
all commercial.
The residence is the other side, which is not part of this request.
Okay. Questions, comments? Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is a pleasant improvement to the area because now we're going south of Charleston with VIP, and it's a boulevard that's got a wonderful future south of Charleston now, and the location is right across the street, right across Casino Center from the Brett Wesley Gallery. So you see one person starts something and then another follows, and then it's starting to feed. I think it's a wonderful thing. So I will move for approval of item 8.
Is exactly at the beginning of First Friday. That's where the First Friday starts, right at the beginning of this property.
Yeah.
Beautiful, wonderful. Like the landscaping, too. There's a motion, please vote, and please post. Thank you, motion carries. Thank you, wonderful. Now, agenda item number 9, RA 8-2013, discussion for possible action regarding a resolution finding the project proposed by the Commercial Visual Improvement Program, CVIP agreement between the City of Las Vegas Redevelopment Agency, RDA, ProView LLC owner located at 1115 South Casino Boulevard to be in compliance with and in furtherance of the goals and objectives of the redevelopment plan, authorizing the execution of CVIP agreement by the RDA. Redevelopment Area Ward 3, Councilman Coffin. Note this item is related to Council Item Number 43, R92013. Mr. Arndt.
Thank you, Mayor. Pardon me, I probably should have asked you to call this item together with the preceding item. This is a separate grant because these two buildings are contiguous but separate buildings housing different businesses. We thought it appropriate, given the level of investment, to recommend approval of two VIP grants, one for the preceding item for 1111 South Casino Center, and then a second for 1115 South Casino Center Boulevard. Same project, same level investment, roughly about $125,000 per building in the exterior alone, which is eligible for a match. And because that meets our match requirement, we are recommending approval of a $50,000 VIP grant for this building as well.
Wow.
So we recommend approval. I'd turn it over to Mayor if there are any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Steed, do we need to rescind the past vote to separate the two and re-vote them individually?
Didn't you just vote on the first one only? Or?
Oh, I thought they
Yes.
were combined in the
We
picture,
did.
but they were separate.
Right.
And we just voted the one.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Councilman Coffin?
Thank you very much, Your Honor. I don't think anything needs to be said in addition to what we said earlier. I move for approval of item 9.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote. And please post. That motion carries. Thank you. Thank you. Misunderstood. Thank you. And now we're on to agenda item number 10.
Thank you very much, Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
Thank you very much, Councilman.
We're excited about this. Wonderful. A citizen participation, public
Madam
comment.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I could please, Bill, Mr. Arndt, I'm going to bring this up again, and I will continue to bring it up at every opportunity because I don't feel RDA 2 is getting the attention it deserves. It took us over 3.5 years to get it, and that's a long, hard push and a lot of time we waited. We have many areas in Ward 1 which are considered downtown but get no help because they're not what we call core downtown, but they need help. We've now got the RDA established. I want to have those monthly meetings, and I want them to begin now. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Mr. Arndt? Mayor,
Yes, please, Councilman.
I would just like to speak with you and Romeo when you get a moment today.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Maybe it's the private talks that help more.
Maybe it's we're back to warm weather.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item number 10. Citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the redevelopment agency. No subject may be acted upon by the redevelopment agency unless that subject is on the agenda scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, come to the podium, give your name for the record, the amount of any discussion of any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speaker is allowed may be limited. Is there anyone wishing to speak under this portion of the agenda on those items?
Good morning, Mayor and
Morning.
Council. My name is Anthony Hodges. I'm here today to pay tribute to two great monumental ladies. Y'all are educators, and that's vital. Ms. Titanium, I checked your record. We won't even go there. You something else. And you the mayor's wife, but you started your own school. What I'm trying to say, you ladies are educators. You're politicians, but you're educators first. And we need to do something about our school system. It's the worst in the nation. We got to do something about that. So between y'all and the superintendent or whatever, we got to get together and get that school system moving. Please. But you did a great job when you connected to it, Ms. Titanium, whatever. And mayor with your private school and so on, okay? But I'm here to give you ladies, your due. And as far as I'm concerned, the education profession is in the top 5 in the whole world. It's that, hey, we need an education to get through things.
Thank you.
The most important people in the world are educated. Doctor, law, it doesn't matter. Their certificate got some sort of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Education goes all the way up.
Thank you, and you would save those comments.
And
to
thank
the
you very much,
regular
and I'm
council.
sorry to bother.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day.
Okay, and hold on, please. Councilman Ross has a comment.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Hodges, would you show the council your boots?
Huh?
Show the city council your boots.
Sure, Councilman Boo. How can
Yeah, I
do
want
that?
to see your boots,
How can I show it to?
because they're gorgeous boots.
Oh,
Just
thank
just
you, but-
whip your leg up there
but
and
it
show
was-
us your boots.
Okay, you didn't have to do that, Mr. Hodges. It's all right. Okay, anyone else wishing to speak under this? You could cross your legs so everybody could see your boots. Anyone else wishing to speak under this portion of the agenda? 2 items related to those agenda ones, please. Hearing no one else, please, we'll move on to item 11, agency member recognition. Comments made by individual agency members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the agency unless that subject is on the agenda as well and scheduled for action. Anyone wishing to be heard of the redevelopment agency? And hearing none, any other comments? Okay, this redevelopment agency is adjourned, and we will start our city council meeting immediately.